Good morning from lovely Manchester. We are back in the UK. It is currently raining. Surprise, surprise. But I'm only here for a couple more days, unintentionally. We'll get into that whole story and I will explain to you what is going on and what's happening, but I actually have to leave the UK. So I leave the UK on Saturday and I'm flying back to America. Didn't intend for this to happen. I've literally been gone like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, I think about like 2 weeks, that's it. And I'm heading my ass right back. Not super excited because it is not for fun reasons. It is literally for like paperwork, which is a headache in itself and an expensive freaking paperwork. And it's on me partially for not really realizing that I had to go back. But hey, we move forward. So let's get up, let's get ready for a day of working, and I'll tell you the story of what's actually going on and what's happening. Let's rewind a little bit and give you a little bit of backstory. So as you guys know, for previous videos, my boyfriend and I left Bali over a year ago. Or no, my math, it feels like a year ago. We left Bali in March of 2021. So what is that, like 10 months now ago? We left and we wanted to get back to Western culture. He's from the UK, I'm from the US. And although I loved living in Bali during the pandemic, once the world started opening up, I was ready for a little bit of normalcy in Western culture and not third world problems that you deal with in Bali. Although it is beautiful and it is amazing, so don't come for me because it is an incredible country. It has its flaws, obviously. Bali is overrun with tourism and a lot of things are just built for tourists and you kind of lose a bit of that Indo-Bali culture in some places. But anyway, we left and we wanted just a bit more normalcy of what we're used to, Western life. So we decided to make our way back to Europe, and then this summer and fall, we decided to spend some time in Barcelona and some time in Lisbon to figure out where we wanted to live, because I wanted to be in a city. I'm from New Jersey, right outside New York City, and I am a city girl. Don't get me wrong, I'm a beach girl as well because I'm born and raised in a beach town, but I just need a city close by. Like, I want that social aspect. I want the hustle and bustle. I want things going on. Like, I am not ready for that slower paced life. And I think especially living in Bali for like over a year, I did that slower island life for a little bit, and I am just kind of ready for a little bit of a change. So we were between Barcelona and Lisbon. Lisbon being a really big digital nomad hub. Obviously, it's massive in terms of digital nomad community. There are loads of expats there. So it is already an established digital nomad hub. And then we have Barcelona. So Spain has been proposing a digital nomad visa for like 18 months. So it's been in the works for a while, but we did know it was coming. And I lived in Barcelona as a university student. I studied abroad there back in 2014. Feeling old, but it was back in 2014 when I did it. And I absolutely loved it. My boyfriend had never been before, but he's a DJ and the music scene is really big in Barcelona, so he always wanted to try out Barcelona, see if he liked it. So we did both cities. We compared the two, and at the end of the day, we decided to choose, drum roll, Barcelona. Now, I go into grave detail in one of my videos about Barcelona and why we chose it and why I think it's a really good place for digital nomads to live. And then also in a different video, I go through Lisbon and say why I think Lisbon is a good city for digital nomads and why I found some cons with Lisbon. And I'm honest. I give my honest opinion. So go check both those videos out if you want to know about Barcelona and Lisbon more, because I'm not going to go into detail that here. But we decided to go in Barcelona. So now things we started to see were moving with the Digital Nomad Visa for Barcelona and Spain, obviously in general, it's a country. But we saw things starting to get moving forward and starting to get going. And I was doing some research and we were pulling up what we knew as of, November and October when we were there, what we needed for a Digital Nomad Visa and what the requirements may be. It was a loose term. Nothing was really actually approved yet. And so in December, on December 22nd, they fully approved the law. Now, this is a startup law, so it's not actually the visa itself solo. It is a part of this entire law trying to bring new businesses into Spain, bring new people into working in Spain. Basically, Spain wants to make that dough, so they're bringing them in. So this is a part of that law. So that actual law was passed on December 22nd or 23rd, whatever it was. I could be totally wrong on this date, but it was like one of the last days of December. God, my brain sometimes. Anyway, it was one of the last days of December. And so they passed the law and we were like, yes, oh my God, amazing. We can go apply for the visa now. Wrong. So all of those articles telling you that Digital Nomad Visa is approved and ready to go is like half true. So make sure you do loads and loads of research. And I guess even if I did as much research as I needed to, I probably would have been hitting some walls with holiday time and stuff. So basically what happened and why I need to leave the UK is because one of the rules for applying for visas in Spain is that, and specifically the Digital Nomad Visa as well, is that you need a criminal record check. And I get it. You gotta make sure no criminals are coming into Spain. They don't want to entice all these criminals to come over and then bad things happen in Spain. But the problem is the process. So my boyfriend back in November applied for his criminal record background check in the UK. Literally did it online within 10 minutes. In 2 weeks, he got it mailed to his house. Simple, easy, whatever. The US is not like that. So in the US, to get your criminal record check from the FBI, the actual official one, you need to give your fingerprints. So you can print out paperwork online and you can get a fingerprint ink pad or an ink pad, and you can do your sets of fingerprints on this specific paperwork from the government. And you can do multiple copies. I saw a video with a girl who she did it. She needed her criminal record check. And so she did 6 copies abroad, sent it out, and it took a month for her to get it back. So the time frame isn't that big of a deal. The problem is you can do by mail. It could be 4 weeks. And on the website, it could be up to 12 weeks. And I was like, ooh, that's a long time for paperwork and international mail and whatnot. But still not the main issue. The main issue is that for Spain, for this visa, you actually need to have the paperwork apostilled. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the correct word. Apostle is the stamp on it. Apostilled, I'm assuming, is the verb form of that. I don't know. I'm going to go with it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but we're going to go with apostilled. So you need to get an apostle. An apostle basically is a state agency, government agency that notarizes and signs off on the paperwork to say it's legit. You cannot get your FBI criminal record check apostilled by a different government. At least not in the UK. I did extensive research. The even US Embassy on the website for the government things for the UK says that they cannot apostille the paperwork for the US FBI criminal record check. I mean, it kind of makes sense because how would someone from Spain or the UK be able to apostille my record check from the US and prove that it's legit? Because people could forge paperwork, people could do whatever. So, I mean, it does make sense a bit. But anyway, moral of the story of that one is that I need to be in America to get the apostle. And so I literally left the US on December 29th and I'm flying back on January 14th. So just pretty much 2 weeks, let's call it. I'm going to be flying back. And my, sayonara America, see you in summertime that didn't happen. 2 weeks I'm going back. But in America, you can pretty much go to a post office or your local police station or even a private agency to go get your fingerprints done. So basically you'll walk in, you'll plop your little fingers down on the pad, they'll scan them for you, or scan them or ink them, whatever it is, and then they'll actually mail it off for you. And so you get the paperwork back a bit quicker with that. And there also are private agencies that you can go to and get this done at. So the wait time obviously depends on your state, on the state of the government, and how quickly they want to do things. And so there's a lot of varying factors. So when I was booking my flight home, I was like, crap. So it takes like obviously a couple of days or potentially weeks to get the FBI criminal record check. Then you have to get it apostilled. So it doesn't come with an apostle on it. You have to then go and make an appointment or go to an agency and make an appointment for you to go get the actual like apostle on it. And then that can take a few days as well, depending on how much you pay. So I wanted to give myself a buffer and a barrier. So I'm actually going to go home for about 5 weeks. And it was that long really because I wanted a buffer for the paperwork because I'm not about to fly back out or book a flight back out of the US only to have to change it again, because these changes are getting really expensive and this paperwork is going to end up being like the most expensive paperwork of this stupid visa. It's not a stupid visa, I'm just frustrated. So I buffered it out to give myself 5 weeks. But with that said, that means that me and Harry are going to be split for 5 weeks, because although he did get his paperwork in the UK for his FBI or whatever, his version of the FBI criminal record check, he needs to get a new one because you need to have it valid within 90 days. And most likely it's looking like the visa stuff won't be finalized until March. So on the safe side, he has to reorder his paperwork. And then he too does have to go get it apostilled. So he'll do that in the UK. But we need to kind of make sure both of our paperwork is done. And flights home aren't cheap. So I'm flying home by myself. And it kind of sucks. Like, I hate long distance. It is the bane of my existence. I've done it so many times in my life. Like, I don't even want to count. But most recently, Harry and I actually did it when we first started dating. And it was chaotic. We pretty much met in Bali. We dated for 6 weeks. So we spent a lot of time together. And we knew we really liked each other. But I was going away to Turkey and Italy and stuff for the summer for about 2 months to do some work projects with some clients I had. Killer, I know. But I was going away, and so I got to Turkey. I was there for about a week and a half, and this was summer of 2021. And guess what happened? COVID hit again, and Bali actually completely closed its borders, even though I had a visa to come back. So I wasn't allowed back into the country, and we thought by the time that I was supposed to come back, like mid to end of August, that it was going to be lifted and it would have been fine. Well, never happened. So our normal like 7 weeks abroad apart that we were going to spend in a brand new relationship ended up being 4 whole freaking months. So like end of August came, end of August, and nothing was changing. Like, you could see on the COVID charts that the numbers were going down in Bali because it had a really bad spike, in Indonesia in general. And they basically tormented and tortured us with these damn announcements. The way they did it was, instead of being like, oh, we'll review everything on September 15th, say, it was like every Monday was a new announcement. So it's like, we might open borders next Monday. And then Monday morning would roll around and I would watch the news and it would be like, not this week, maybe next week we'll review again. And that went on for about 2 months. So my Mondays freaking sucked for months. And it's hard, really hard, being in a long distance relationship when your relationship is so new. Like, we were only dating for 6 weeks. Obviously, like I said, we spent loads of time together. And when you're in a traveling relationship, it is completely different than a normal relationship. Like, we spent like 5 days a week together. On the weekends, we would spend the entire weekend together. We were always with our friends. We were going out. We were going to lunch, dinner. Like, you don't cook in Bali, so you're constantly out for meals. So those 6 weeks in a normal sense is probably like 3 or 4 months in like normal life. And I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it is true. And so even at that, like, then going away, we were away for more, like, we were long distance for more than we were together. And there's a lot you learn about each other, and there's a lot you don't know about each other, and you can't handle it face to face. You can't just talk it out. You have to text about it because they're working, you're doing things, and then you get to FaceTime for a little bit, you know, at the end of the day or in the morning, but you can't spend your entire day on FaceTime. And so it became a bit of a struggle, and it definitely wasn't easy. We did make it through though. We made it out the other side, and then as soon as the borders for Bali opened back up in October or September, I headed out literally the next day. Like, I already had my visa approved. I was ready to go. I was out the next day on a flight, had to quarantine for another 8 days, so it extended our time apart, and then we saw each other. But we've been together now for like over a year and a half, and I think we'll be fine. So a good 5 weeks apart. Not that that's my preference or choice, because who wants to do long distance, but it is to get us to the next step, and that is going to be moving to Barcelona, which I cannot freaking wait for. Like, I'm so excited to have our own apartment, to decorate, to have a wardrobe. Harry's already like really concerned because I have been buying so many clothes recently, and it's because like I finally am living in Western culture and I'm not just living in a beach town where I wear shorts and a bathing suit top all the time. And now I'm actually having loads of stuff, and he's like, I'm terrified when we move and you have that apartment, what the closet's gonna look like. And I was like, yes, that's why we need a 3rd bedroom, so we can turn it into a closet, because I'm gonna have way too much stuff. But that is pretty much the story of why I have to leave the UK. And you know what? It's gonna suck. It is. But we're gonna get through it, or we're gonna move. And one thing I will say, guys, that I will not miss is the rain. People, you UK people, you are built different. Like, you just live life in the rain, and I get it, because it's raining probably 70% of the time here, and you're used to it, and that's normal, and bless your soul. But I'm not a rain person. Sorry, I'm looking out the window. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So as you can see, it's just a bit rainy outside. I mean, the one good thing about the UK is, like, as you can see between the buildings right there, like, it is super green and it is super lush, and it's pretty, like, when the rolling green hills and everything. But I need sun up there. Like, I can't do the gray. I just can't do it. And not that I wish I could, but I just, you know, it's my American self needs sunshine. But yes, I'm excited to go home a little bit and just chill. I'm gonna be cranking out the YouTube videos, so I hope you guys are ready, because they are coming. And I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to just get my paperwork done, and I'm excited to get everything moved to Barcelona and have the sunshine like every day, because it's beautiful. Even if it's chilly, there's sun. And even when it's chilly, like, people still sit outside and like have a beer on like a Saturday afternoon or even after work, and they'll sit next to a heater, and I'm like, yes, I just love that. I love the social aspect of Barcelona, and I'm excited to go back and see my friends, because I met some really, really cool people out there. So it's gonna be great, it's gonna be amazing. But as of right now, we gotta go back. So that is my little update on why I need to leave the UK. But now it's time to get some work done and go do some client stuff, make some graphics, and listen to some podcasts, and, you know, have fun doing all the things I do. And I'm actually going to be filming a video soon breaking down exactly what I've done as a digital nomad over the years, what I love and how I got into it. So stay tuned for all that as well. But if you guys are enjoying this video and this channel and you want to see more and you want to see this whole series I'm going to be doing about moving to Barcelona, all the paperwork you need, the Spanish Digital Nomad Visa, moving to Barcelona itself, getting an apartment, decorating all of it, it's going to be an amazing series. If you want to see a part of that, also want to see vlog life, also want to see some digital nomad tips, I'm going to be sharing more of my story, what exactly I did as a digital nomad from the start, throughout the years, what I loved the most, how I got started, the money I've made, what I found most successful, all of those things. Definitely hit the subscribe button. Like, do not miss out on that. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below. I love engaging with you guys and meeting my little community here. And I'm really excited to focus on this channel this year. 2023 is going to be the year of the Christina Davis channel. We're growing this thing. We are building an amazing community. I'm going to be cutting out so many good videos for you guys. And then once I'm in Barcelona, the vlogs are going to be spectacular. Like, there's so much I can't wait to share with you guys. I gave you such small tidbits of life when we were there. And now I'm really excited to just like dive straight on in. So hit the subscribe button. Do not miss it. And catch you guys in the next video.